and some are other people's unpopular opinions. So I have a list of unpopular opinions of mine that I have been composing over the past few weeks, I'd say. Every time I think of one, I jot it down on here, or I jot it down on the notepad in my iPhone and then write it here later. Okay. So, disclaimer. Don't take this too seriously, please. I'm not trying to offend anyone. If you disagree with my unpopular opinion, that is totally, totally fine and great. You can tell me all about it in the comments. You might even be able to convince me otherwise, but just please be respectful. Okay. First one I'm gonna talk about is you don't need to upgrade your phone when you have a quote free upgrade. Okay, so everyone who I know thinks that, well, not everyone, okay, a lot of people, they think that once they are eligible for a free upgrade, that means that it is truly, truly free, and they should go ahead and take advantage of it, because why should they be walking around with last year's iPhone when they can get a new one for free? Like, what is the sense of that, they say? Well, here's the thing. It's not really free, okay? Let's just say, for argument's sake, you go to get a brand new plan and a brand new phone 2 years ago, right? And they work it out for you so that it's going to cost you, let's say, this number is totally off, okay? But whatever, $150, okay? Every month you'll pay them $150, and that will include the free phone and the service, okay? Now, 2 years later, you're eligible for an upgrade for free, which means your $150 will not change. You'll still pay $150, and you'll get a brand new phone. Like, why not? Sounds like a no-brainer. No. What it means is you have paid off your last phone. So, if you don't get a new phone, if you do not upgrade, you're going to pay just $100 every month now. Just for your service, because you own the phone now, right? Or go ahead in there, get a brand new phone, and continue to pay $150. Okay, so I hope you followed me there. So my opinion is, you don't need to do that upgrade every couple of years. It's just completely not necessary. And do the math, you know? So, like I said, the numbers I gave you are not accurate. I just used them because they are round numbers. But, you know, figure out what you're really spending to upgrade. And wouldn't it be nicer just to pay less for a couple of years? You know, like if your phone is not broken and hasn't become obsolete, then you don't need to get a new one. It's not going to be much, you know, that they don't change them that much from one year to the next. I mean, after several years pass, yes. Like, I had an iPhone 6 Plus for a very, very, very long time, and it never broke. It was said to him, let's not get you those kind of sweatshirts anymore. I think it's best to get ones that don't have that pocket, and he agrees. He is totally on board with that. So, there, I said it. It's not that important, it's not that serious, but it's an unpopular opinion of mine, so I thought I would share it, okay? Alright, what else do we have here? Okay. Energy drinks. Okay, my opinion is energy drinks are not good. Okay, that's my opinion. It's simple and to the point. I don't care for them. I'm not saying that you shouldn't get them and that you shouldn't like them. This is my opinion. First of all, they have a ton of caffeine, and people seem to think that they feel energized when they drink it. Personally, that doesn't do it for me. Like, when I get up and I have coffee in the morning, I feel nothing from it. Okay? It doesn't give me any kind of boost whatsoever. If I don't have it, I'll get a headache though, because I'm like addicted, physically to the caffeine. But if I try to have an excessive amount of caffeine, it's not going to make me feel energized. It's going to give me the shakes, which I don't like. So maybe I'm different, maybe I am built different, but it doesn't do it for me. And I don't think they taste that, like, fabulous. Like, what is up with all those millions? Okay, there's not a million. Hundreds of varieties of energy drinks, and people are grabbing them up. I mean, they gotta be super unhealthy. Like, forget about what you're all telling me about how Diet Coke is terrible for me. I think these energy drinks are way worse. But they make them so appealing, especially to, like, teens. I mean, children aren't supposed to drink them, right? I think that's the assumption. I don't think teens should be drinking them either, but whatever. Just because they're super unhealthy. But, they have all these flavors. Like, every kind of candy flavor, cookie flavored, cake flavored, you name it. With so much beautiful packaging. Like, who could resist it? Like, I want to buy them. When I go and I see the picture of a donut on the energy drink, I'm like, but I don't buy it. Because I know I don't want it. So I just feel like I'm missing the, whatever everyone is loving about these things. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Okay. Next. Let's see here. Okay. I have yet to meet anyone who agrees with me on this. Not that I talk about it that much. Scott toilet paper is the best kind to get. Or something like that. Okay. There is no need to get those thick, fluffy, soft ones like Charmin. I know everyone is like, what are you saying? Are you crazy? Are you nuts? Okay, here's the thing. I don't get it. Like, once again, I don't know what everyone's raving about. Like, who cares if your toilet paper is super fluffy and soft and it has 2 plies? Like, who cares? Like, I just don't. And the thing about Scott, which is the one that has like 1,000 sheets per roll, and I buy like a big thing of it at BJ's Wholesale Club, okay, whenever we get low. It comes with like, I don't know, I want to say 36 rolls or something, and it lasts a while. And each roll lasts a little, not a while, but it lasts. Now, if you take one of those Charmin rolls and you put it in your bathroom, it's mean, yes, it would grant one more spot to the universe, right? Which would increase your chances of getting a spot by like 0.001%. So, yeah. I feel very strongly about that one. I really do. It's my final answer. You cannot change my mind. Okay, let's see here. Alright. Dishwasher versus hand washing your dishes. I actually prefer hand washing for a few reasons. Okay, number one, in no particular order. When you use the dishwasher, when it's done, you open it up, and you have to put away all these dishes at one time. And so many of them are still wet because they have a puddle in them somewhere, or it's a type of plastic that just doesn't dry. So if you open up the top first, you're going to get that water all over everything in the bottom as it shakes and all the water goes down. So I've learned open the bottom first, get my dish towel ready to dry these things as they come out. Some are dry, but things like coffee mugs always seem to collect water on the bottom, and like any kind of Tupperware, any plastic seems to retain the water, amongst other things. So there I am, drying everything and then putting it away. So I find that annoying. Plus, there tends to be a few things that for whatever reason did not get clean. So then you're fishing out what didn't get clean, putting that in the sink to wash later. And I just overall don't feel like it's that much of a time savings, because you had to like spend some time rinsing the dishes and loading it and trying to make everything fit and all that. Whereas hand washing the dishes, I don't wait until I have like a dishwasher's full amount of dishes in the sink to wash them. No. Like after each meal, me or somebody washes the dishes from that meal. Okay, so it's not like out of control. Plus, when I am cooking or preparing a meal, I wash the dishes that I use for preparations while the food is cooking. So all that is already done. And then, when I've washed the stuff, I put it on the dish rack, and within an hour or so it dries, and I put it away without having to wipe it off with a towel. So, there's my opinion on that. Plus, the stuff in the dishwasher comes out with a smell of like dishwashing solutions and stuff. Sometimes, right? Which is not too pleasant. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about diamond painting. Okay. My opinion is diamond painting is torture. Absolute torture. Now, if you don't know what it is, they have these kits. It comes with a picture of some sort, something nice that you would hang up. You could maybe frame it or whatever and hang it up. Now, this picture is covered by a piece of plastic. When you peel off the plastic, it's all sticky. Okay, the picture is completely sticky. And then you have a whole bunch of these little teeny, what they call diamonds, which, they're not diamonds, they're teensy, weensy. So small, like the size of, not even as big as a sesame seed, okay? These little diamonds of different colors that you have to pick up and put onto the picture. And you will have put on like use your hands. It's too small. And in order to get the diamonds to stick on the instrument, you have to dip the instrument in some kind of like a sticky stuff repetitively because it wears off. So you dip the instrument in sticky stuff, then you pick up a diamond with the instrument. You hope that you picked it up right side up, but half the time you picked it up wrong side up, and then you have to try to switch it over, okay? So you stick it onto the thing, you move on to the next one. It is so awful. I don't even know how to explain to you how awful it is. During the lockdown period, I was super bored, and these were brand new at the time. And I was like, wow, that looks awesome. I need to get one of those so I have something to do because there is nothing to do. So I ordered one and I was so excited for it. When it finally came, I tore it open, I sat down, I started working. OMG, 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 okay? I can't even tell you how much my back hurt and my eyes hurt, and I got a headache after like a half an hour. But I was like, oh, I love this. This hat, I have to love this. Like, I was trying to convince myself this was awesome. And I had completed like maybe an inch worth of the thing, like a square inch, in like an hour. I'm like, okay, obviously I only could do a little bit at a time. So then I'm like, okay, let me do a little each day, so that the next day I did some. But like, I become so stiff and hunched over, and my eyes are trying to focus on these teensy things. It is very unpleasant. So finally, after, I don't know, several days of it, I said, this is not fun, actually. And I know I spent like, maybe $15 or something. I can't remember. But it would be better for me to throw it away than to torture myself any further with it. And that is how that project ended. Now, my daughter also went through the same sort of thing. She decided she was going to do a diamond painting. I think this was later on. Even after seeing what I went through and not being interested in working on my project, she got herself one. Or somebody gave her one as a gift. And she was like, oh, this is great. I am going to work on this. She worked on it a few days. And then she let it sit around for a month or so, and then she threw it out. So, if you have patience to do these diamond paintings, let me know. You probably have perfect eyesight if you do. That's my guess. Okay, one more. Which one will it be? Okay. A lot of people might disagree. That's why it's unpopular. Alright, so you know how everyone says, at the end of the day, you go home, you put on whatever you like that's most comfortable. It doesn't matter what you look like, just so long as you are super comfortable. Okay, I agree with that for the most part, okay? But what tends to happen to some people is they have designated whatever shirt as their most comfortable shirt that they will put on every day at the end of the day, right? And that shirt is already in some kind of like worn out position by that point. So they start to wear that shirt every evening for the next year or 2 years or 3 years. And what do you think happens to it over time? Well, it starts to get torn. It might have little holes in different places. Maybe the neck is like stretched out. There are usually like dark stains, not from they look around their loved ones, but come on. There's a point where you draw the line and you say, this shirt is super comfortable, but now it has to be garbage. Now, have I made this story up in my head?